Welcome back to the Child Abuse Prevention Program. In our previous videos, we talked about grooming, the methodical process child sexual abusers use to create relationships that allow them to abuse without getting caught. More importantly, we highlighted that this slow process gives us many opportunities to intercede and remove children from harm's way. Today, we'll begin the discussion about a series of boundaries that will better protect children while in your care. Every district is unique, and these boundaries are not designed to be a one size fits all. Instead, our intent is to facilitate an open and important dialogue about best practices and how you and your district can make new choices that directly intercede with the grooming process. Our hope is that every district will be able to implement some new boundaries, which will have a substantial impact on the safety of their students. Today's focus will be on site boundaries that can be put in place to minimize the opportunities for child sexual abusers to isolate children. Remember, child sexual abusers attempt to isolate kids, first in small groups where they can look for voids and develop personal relationships. Then they create further opportunities to get children alone, which is when 80% of sexual abuse happens. So here are some proactive steps you can take to interfere with their inappropriate intentions. Ensure all rooms where children are allowed have windows in the doors and that those windows are unobstructed. This gives others the ability to view what's happening in the room at any time. Avoid all one adult, one child situations, including time spent alone in the classroom. Many district policies sanction teachers being alone in the classroom with students, but require the door to be left open. That's a good first step, but to really keep a child sexual abuser from having isolated access to children, it's best to have a policy that prohibits time alone together, but instead directs employees to meet with students with another adult or in a common area. This boundary also protects teachers and staff members from any accusations of impropriety. Establish what areas of the campus, inside and out, are safe for children to be present, as well as a specific list of locations that are off limits. All locations where children are allowed should provide the level of visibility by others needed to keep students safe. Limit the number of people who can pull a child out of their regularly scheduled program activities, including lunch and recess. Establish a formal process to determine who has this authority, when they can pull a child out, why they can pull a child out, and where they can meet with them. In addition, the process should provide for others to be notified when a child is pulled out so that appropriate supervision is ensured. Limit before and after school activities to pre approved programs by authorized teachers and staff. Establish a formal approval process for before and after school activities, just as we suggested for pulling children out of their regular scheduled program. A formal approval process slows everything down and gives all parties a chance to weigh in: teachers, staff, administrators, and parents. Establish a practice of having two adults present at all times with toddlers and special needs children. Because this population of children are unlikely to be able to recognize or report abuse they observe, and may not be believed if they do, having only one adult present poses the same risk as a one adult, one child situation. We'll present some additional best practices in our next video, but for now we've given you plenty to consider. Here are some specific questions to kick off the dialogue about what you and your colleagues can do to create a safer place for your students. We encourage you to keep in mind the intentions and behaviors of child sexual abusers as you consider these boundaries. And even if you can't do exactly what we've suggested, look for changes you can make to deter them in each area. Our kids are counting on us to do all we can.